And we are live. Hello, people that are probably watching this.
We are the tribe from the north, we're brave and we're bold. Defeating our rivals never gets old. Making our way to the Big Sky Conference. Watch out, cause here comes the silver and gold. Whoa, whoa. This is Tubbs at the club for the Vandals of Idaho.
Hello. It is I, Martin Heemstra, here to recap the games that happened on Friday and Saturday. I will try to keep my nerves down because, as some of you might be able to tell, I am not a good talker. Starting out with Friday's game, they won 69. They had a good game, winning 69-64. They did lead. They have a bigger lead starting out the game with the. They're up by. Can't remember the exact score. Whoops, I forgot. Ain't nothing like cracking a Montucky cold snack, an ultra refreshing light beer born in majestic Big Sky country. The best part is when you crack a snack, you're giving back. Montucky cold snacks donate 8% of all profits back to local causes, even right here in Idaho. Supporting organizations like CW Hogs and Idaho Food Bank. Yeehaw, that's freaking awesome. Montucky Cold Snacks, the light American lager for powwow rippers, gator wranglers, pony riders, and badass do-gooders. Visit MontuckyColdSnacks.com today to find out how to get ya ass some snacks. Now, Friday's game was a little. They had a big lead. I hadn't say a big lead. They had a lead of 14 at the one point, but Southern Utah made it a game on Friday night. They were able to fight back, get back into it, even take the lead at one point in the game, which had cause for concern after Idaho was leading by double digits at some points. Being able to come back in there and being able to come back, make it a game, and even though Idaho was able to come, even though Southern Utah was able to come back and make it a game, Idaho still was able to come fight them off and win the game by 5 in the end. And although they won, I still had some cause for concerns from this game, just because they got out rebounded by 29 rebound. They got Southern Utah out rebounded them 66-37, and Southern Utah had a plus 29 over us. And and just looking at the stats, if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't expect you all to be. Southern Utah kicked our asses on rebounds in the first game of this first game. Without having Natty Klinker did not play in this game, which I think might have kind of want to say she was the main reason why. When Natalie Klinker was the main she did not play, but it was, I think, one of the bigger reasons why it was closer than it should have been. They just straight up beat us. They beat us on the rebounds 66-37, and it just was not a pretty sight to see. Overall, the game, they played well. Gabby Harrington was back, which was just a great thing to have, just to have that spark plug that can go and give Idaho points, rebounds, assists, whatever you need it. If something's going wrong, Gabby will just be able to come in and be that jump start to the offense that Idaho needs sometimes if things are running cold. And Gina led the way with 14 points. Gina had 8 rebounds, and she was the star of this game. She was able to she was the leader that Idaho had that game. Beyonce had a similarly good game with points-wise, 13. Haley Christopher also had 13. It was what I thought was a good performance overall, and they could have done better. Better being just better at just getting rebounds. Because if they had the if they what's the word I'm looking for? If they had more of an inside presence besides just beyond speed going up and getting rebounds, having someone like another Natalie Clinker going to get the rebounds, this game wouldn't have been close. Idaho would have been. It just wouldn't have been as close of a game. It wouldn't have been as close of a game, and they probably would have won by. They probably would have won by more. Moving on to the game that just happened about hour and a half ago or so. Idaho won this one 77-61. And still, Natalie Clinker did not play in this game, but Idaho still won by 16. They fixed the rebound issues. Idaho actually led in rebounds 39-35. They shot the ball relatively better. They shot the ball better. They made their free throws. It was a better overall performance by Idaho in the second game. It was just more better performance overall. They shot the ball. Why am I keep repeating that? They played better on defense. They played better to go get the rebounds. They just played a more complete game, if I'd call it that way. And it was just more of what I've come to know in Idaho what Coach Newley and the women's basketball team is known to after the Splash Sisters playing. And yeah, they did not. Idaho led for the entire game, and Southern Utah brought it down to within 8, 9, 10 points. So it wasn't really a close-ish game. There were some points where Southern Utah would go on a run that I thought were like, oh boy, is this going to be where they're going to make it closer to that game? Kind of like Fridays where they only won by 5, and maybe Southern Utah steals a game, and we're talking about a completely different outcome where I'm not as happy with the game overall. Overall, though, they played Coach Newley and his staff played a much better game, had a much better game plan going out that I think they did well at. Gina, again, stud, leader of the team, probably I think should be Big Sky Conference Player of the Year. And then as you've watched on YouTube, Haley Christopher led the way with 7 rebounds, and Gina had 5 assists. And then the freshmen, although they're not playing, Sydney and Paris played okay. They had their moments. There were some mistakes where they had a couple of turnovers. Sydney had some turnovers, and I was a little like, what's going on here? Maybe that's just a freshman mistake, but they had a good game overall. I wouldn't expect them to have freshmen. Don't expect the freshmen to be star contributors right away. They might be, but don't expect it to be. They're going to be go and go kind of players. There might be some small mistakes here and there, but they played well. It was good to have Gabby back, and their next games are against that's against. I'm trying to figure that out for you. If any of you got anything, if you ever if anybody ever wants to come on and be another second time, be like a special guest host for these post-game recaps, shoot me a DM on Twitter at Hemi_71. I'd love to have you on to have someone to talk these games about, besides doing it myself, which I can do. But hey, it would be much more fun to have other people on there. Next up, their games are at Northern Colorado on the 14th and at Northern Colorado on Saturday. So on 14th at 5:30 p.m. they'll be playing Northern Colorado, and then Saturday the 16th at 11 a.m. they will be playing in Greeley as well against Northern Colorado. And that's it for me. Go Vandals. Come on.